What if the answers you've been searching for were already written into your soul's blueprint? What if your astrology chart revealed far more than personality traits? What if hidden energetic patterns have been shaping your relationships, your abundance, and your awakening? This week on Soulfire Ascension, Raven and Lisa welcome Ascension Guide and Evolutionary Galactic Astrologer Becca B. Discover the power of Galactic Astrology, Human Design Gene Keys, and Starseed Blueprint Readings. Learn how subconscious programs, emotional loops, and energetic interface can influence your life path, and explore how energetic sovereignty can help you reclaim clarity, purpose, and personal power. Are your challenges random or part of a much larger soul design? Plus, hear about Becca's work, Starseed Blueprint Readings, Transformational Retreats, and her free Seals and Implants Masterclass. Join us live Friday, July 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Soulfire Ascension. Are your challenges random or part of a much larger soul design? Welcome to another edition of Soulfire Ascension, and welcome back, Miss Becca B. This time we have you live, and we're so excited about that. And I want to let the audience know that right there in the corner where Lisa is right there, if you take a picture of that, it will take you right to Becca's website.
Wow.
So,
I love that. So fancy.
oh yeah. It's, technology nowadays. But And I have to say, I have gotten a starseed reading from Becca, and I was totally amazed how accurate it actually was. And I was actually amazed. I'm actually on that path that is in my stars, but that's what the starseed reading is all about. What is in your path, and basically, yep, I'm on my path. So, welcome, Becca.
Yes, welcome
Oh
back.
my gosh, thank you guys so much. This is really amazing to get to do this live with you guys. I know that's it's just such a neat energy to be able to include this conversation with everyone. And thank you guys so much. I can feel the energy again and see where the guides take it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. And like Raven had mentioned, those starseed readings, it also incorporates the human design. I myself had a reading as well with Becca, and it was helpful is not the word for it, but for those who are on the journey, when you want to know yourself on a deeper level and your soul and the blueprint, this is the way to go for sure. Because I find it to, like I said, more than helpful. It assists us with pointing us in the directions that we should be focusing on and so much more. So,
I agree. It's been something I've had a passion for a very long time. It's something that I didn't necessarily go out seeking And, after really working for quite a long time in my life with transformational work with individuals, through hypnosis, through different types of coaching and intuitive medicine, the guides just kind of went boop and kind of pushed me into this direction. And I've been so just in love with it ever since, because I really feel like these chart readings really are like being handed our blueprint or our owner's manual that I wish we would have got the day that we were born.
True, I wish we would have gotten it when we were born. But then again, to be honest with you, to get to receive that actual reading and that chart and to look at it and say, wow, I am on that path.
Yeah.
And I did it myself, without knowing ahead of time.
Very
Yeah.
true. Very, very, very true. Awesome. Mm-hmm.
So I think basically, I had the question, could you tell us a little bit about your journey? But, you did a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit more what led you to galactic astrology? Because it's not just regular astrology, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's been a wonderful unfolding for myself as well. When I was quite a bit younger, around the age of 18, I got nudged to leave the mainland of the United States and take a leap of faith and to move to the Hawaiian Islands. And it was something that I just followed that guidance to do, packed one suitcase, bought a one-way ticket, literally had never been there, never even really heard of it before. And I was just like, okay, let's go. And it was one of those moments in my life where the guides were like, this is it. If you stay where you are, life is going to spiral the other direction. And it was kind of that moment where I realized things, when you put your mind to something, you truly can manifest. And it does transpire. The reality field does open up for us. And it was really through that journey I got welcomed in when I was there. It was definitely a lot of ups and downs. And, I learned to make my way there, but ended up living there for over 20 years. And through that time, I really got a lot of activations. And in these activations, in many of my soul journeys, I very quickly started developing my intuitive skills, very quickly started developing, going into even intuitive medicine, beginning to scan, beginning to kind of understand the interdimensional planes and that we are more than our physical body, which was completely opposite to how I was raised. There was here, and then we were groveling to something maybe that we thought we were praying to, and there was God, a few angels, and hell. And that was it, right? And within that, anything that you had curiosity around that was like, don't question it, just don't question it, was kind of really where it was left. So when I was really on my own, I was in this place where I had the freedom to really open up and to explore and to really move beyond anything that my belief systems had ever been buried with. And within that, through these journeys, it was first kind of encounters with a lot of the things within, I would call the lower astral realms or the shadow realms, the disincarnate beings, the spirit beings, and the souls, the wandering souls upon the planet. And the more and more I learned about that, the more the guide started leading me towards, some of the elders, the Hawaiian elders within the islands. And I worked very closely with one in particular. He's a very beloved being, Sam Ka'ai. I believe he's on Oahu now, and just an incredible soul that has shared a lot of wisdom. And I was assisting and helping him for a bit of time, as well as some other individuals. And it was through that time that many of the Hawaiian family really was starting to share with me a lot of the wisdom of the history of Hawaii, things that they just considered, oh, well, it just was. And it was some of my first kind of awakenings to these encounters, if you will, just casual of just like, oh yes, well, this was, you know, where the ships used to land. And oh yes, you know, it was always very common to see kind of these extraterrestrial things. I'll just kind of summarize it a little bit. And it was kind of my first introductions to having an awareness to an energy out there that was really connected to the stars. And it helped so much because at that time, I've always been a very vivid dreamer, a very lucid dreamer. And it was for an extended amount of time, I was having dreams, dreams of literal space wars, literal dreams of being caught in the middle of these interplanetary and intergalactic wars. And in my mind, that's nothing I knew anything about. I was completely confused by it. I was just like, it just seems like something, but I would wake up and it was so real. I saw all of it going on. And so I kind of put that in there and, you know, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm open to realizing that there's more going on. And it was really kind of a progression of time that the guides really started to take me in to really diving in now to, well, what is this? What are some of the sacred sites on the land? Why are they sacred? How are they connected to ancient timelines? Where have we come from? And that's really where it progressed. So from hypnosis and hypnotherapy, they started to present in first, honestly, was the human design. And I've been doing human design for a long time now, long before I used to be able to say human design and everybody had a glazed look and they were like, what is that? And it's really neat because now a lot of people do know the system a lot more. And it was through that I really they started to unravel the awareness of the intricacy that we are with the stars, the intricacy that we are with the planetary spheres, how we carry harmonics with us, how we are really truly these consciousness packets. And that when we move through the star fields, when we move through the constellations, we really kind of pick up and also leave behind these little kind of like encoded packets between. And so through our connections to these stars and how we are aligned to them through our own geometry and our birth chart, they imprint upon us our own kind of expression that we are within this reality. And that everything that we think within our mind, even the instances that we've had within our life, when we actually look at it, we realize it's not just happen chance. It's all laid out right in these imprints and these patterns that are coming from our astrological birthday and where we decided to land as a star spark upon the planet. And really that's kind of in some way a little bit of a different angle to share with you guys, like kind of where it really originated quite early on. It's like they really brought the information of the stars to me a long time before I ever started diving into it with astrology or with galactic astrology. And the astrology is where they just utilize that as a system to just go boom, 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 boom. And somehow I've become a galactic historian.
Somehow.
Ask anything, we'll have a chat about it.
And if I may ask, Becca, because when we say astrology, if I'm not mistaken, you utilize the sidereal. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah. True sky astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is something recent that I've probably in the last, 2.5-ish years, somewhere in there. There was a very specific time, and I love this because it's like, I too was resistant to give up the tropical. So originally, yes, I was working through the tropical astrology, the basic one that all of us know with the 12 signs and the equal divided constellations around the wheel. And it was probably about 2.5 years ago. It kept, through my conversations with the guardians, they were like, you have to switch over. You have to switch over. And they kept bringing it into my reality. And I was resisting it because I was sitting there going like, oh my gosh, I can read this other one without even thinking about it. Like, and so really it was more than just about switching over, really switching over to True Sky Astrology. True Sky Astrology is following a sidereal, but it's what it's doing is it's following the constellations in the sky based on their actual sizes in the sky. So I like to tell people that if you get a session with me and I utilize True Sky Astrology, you can actually overlay it over your tropical wheel. The planets will all be the same. The human design gates will all be the same. Your fixed stars will all be the same. Everything is the same. The only thing that's different is the constellation and where that, that sign falls within your chart. So for instance, in my tropical astrology, I've been an Aquarius all of my life, right? I've been like, yes, I'm an Aquarius. I'm this quirky thing, right? And then all of a sudden I do True Sky and I go like, oh, wait, I'm a Capricorn. I'm not an Aquarius. And it's interesting because it's like, to even start to embrace that energy, it's starting to recognize, wow, what would it be like to actually set aside the coat of Aquarius and to pick up the energy of Capricorn? What feels different? And that's one part of it. But what the guides were really saying is that as we work with the true constellations, what we're doing is we're unlocking ourselves from an inorganic astrological wheel, something that was created, and think of it as like locking creation into place. It's like, boom, this is what you are. Regardless of what the constellations around there, it was saying, no, this is where we're going to lock this in. And that system was only created about 2,000 years ago. And it was created primarily only to help with the equinoxes and the planting seasons and to make it easier to have a calendar season on the planet. It wasn't ever for, actually navigating the stars in that particular sense. And what the guides were saying is, one, when we unlock from the tropical wheel, we began to awaken our consciousness to new gates, new kind of passageways and rays of energy flowing through. So within that, we start to unlock from the tropical wheel, which I now refer to as the karmic wheel. The tropical wheel is the best one if you want to look at predictive energy, what's coming next. You want to look at what's the next cycles. It's primarily the one that they are doing all of the ritual magic on planet Earth. And so all of those kinds of bindings and things within there. Whereas the True Sky Astrology, think of it as like you're kind of taking yourself off of that particular wheel and moving into more of what I would think of as a spiral. And that spiral gives you the opportunity to begin to see, how can I expand beyond this? And it's still a wheel, let's be honest, but it's a wheel that starts to show us a bit more of the rays. And the reason why, on the deepest core level of why they said this, is they said we needed to start aligning to the true rays of the stars and the constellations in there, because this is where our solar Aton families are pouring in through these particular alignments. And as this is happening, our elementals in our very body and on planet Earth are actually going through a mutation and expansion right now. And we are moving in an evolutionary way on planet Earth right now through an evolution in literally our base elementals. And we are moving from 108 periodic table to 144. We are getting many of our codes back that we have been missing on this planet. So we're a living example of an evolution of a species right now.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. And wow. So obviously, like you said, you were a little hesitant at first to work with this, but there was a deeper core reason why they guided you for this, because right now, what's unfolding on planet Earth and the energies that are streaming in.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
And one of the things I really like to just kind of explain out to individuals, and I did do a short video on it once and took the wheels, and because a lot of people are like, oh, well, if I use the True Sky Astrology, then I need to change to the sidereal calculations. And what we want to recognize is that human design, the way that that information came through to Ra Uru Hu was through the tropical astrology. So the alignments are through the tropical astrology calculations. And if you cannot take a sidereal calculation and put it into the human design, it will completely give you a different gate. It'll give you a different a completely different number. So for instance, say if you're, a gate 13, it might completely take a new calculation in there and say, oh no, now your sun gate is gate 49. And that's not the truth. There is actually a really neat program on AstroSeek that you can actually see that tropical alignments, they actually correspond to a different alignment within sidereal, but they're the exact same position. So you don't want to change the calculation and try to utilize Capricorn calculations for what's in Aquarius, say, for instance, in tropical, because it'll give you the wrong gate. And I just really like to remind people of that, because a lot of times they'll go like, oh, well, I'm going to put in this. And it gave me all these new gates. And now instead of a generator, I'm a projector. That's not correct. That's not correct. It's changed everything in your chart. You want to keep it the same, because who you are at your birth, it doesn't matter what system you work. The positions will be the same. It's just what the outer wheel is will look different.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I love it.
Oh, sister, I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, I was trying to get everybody to like and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
I can tell you're doing something with the buttons back there.
Yeah. So, human design, you spoke about that earlier. Let's circle back to that, because it has become increasingly popular, but many people still do not understand what they're looking at when they see a body graph. How would you explain the human design to somebody completely new to it?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. Yes, from the first onset of looking at your body rave graph, it can look completely foreign. It's just a bunch of numbers. It's just a bunch of triangles and squares, and within that, I tell people, the best way to even just start to work with it is first and foremost start to understand your own aura. Even having that simplicity within there, which comes from the simplicity of what type are you? And that's going to be usually right on the front page of, the form that you get. Whether or not you're a generator type, a projector, a manifestor, or even a reflector, these different ways are ways for us to start to go like, oh, wait, okay, there's already a way that I'm unique and different than many of the others. And that when we start to recognize first and foremost that we want to start to have sovereignty of our field, our body, our aura, that beautiful, even just that first place is so powerful. Recognizing that on the simplistic and the most simple level, human design helps us to begin to learn how to manage our energy, so that we start to learn to respect our energy in whatever way that we are here to be a gift, so that as we make decisions in this life, we can learn how to make decisions from our own unique inner authority, and that those decisions, as we learn how to read our own kind of divining rod of our body, that we can start to learn where have we been making decisions or being what in human design is referred to as our not self. Where have we said yes to so many things in this life that we really didn't want to do? How many people in this reality are in a job that they actually don't really like? And so they're spending their energy of this life doing something that doesn't light them up. And, how many times have we actually said no to something because we were maybe like we didn't feel like we deserved it, or we didn't feel like we could, or we didn't want to like hurt someone's feelings, and then we are denying ourselves experiences in this lifetime that really are meant to help us evolve and to grow. So on the most basic level, I say for people just getting into it, that it's a really powerful way for us to start to learn how to say yes and how to say no to the right things in life, so we can start managing our energy and start correcting places in our life where we've maybe gotten ourselves onto a track that isn't absolutely supporting us in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great explanation of it. We do have some comments.
Okay.
Miss Deborah. She says, this is fascinating. I'm way interested in a true sky reading. It is fascinating. When I got mine, I was pretty floored.
Absolutely.
And I can't say any more than that, because it was like, I did not even expect that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's really neat, even if you explore, because I would say a great majority of us, that when we look from tropical to true sky, we find that what we think is our sign is different now. Mm-hmm. So again, like I was saying, I had always identified as an Aquarius, and in some ways, Aquarius gives you the opportunity to maybe be a little bit different, or maybe be the rebel, right? It's got that Uranus energy. And so it was interesting, because it's like I could see how my whole life wearing that mask or that cloak kind of pushed me into these feelings many times of being different, right? And so embracing Capricorn, it was interesting going like, wow, I can ground. I can actually hold a stable space. I love, like, I've done so many readings for people that I was just like, oh, Capricorn's awesome. Capricorn's the energy. First of all, it's a mer energy. It's a water goat. It's not necessarily a goat. It's a water goat. But it's the individual that has been to the top of the mountain and now has kind of climbed back down and said, here, I'll show you how. And I go like, that fits. In some ways, it's like, I love to share. So the thing of it is, it sometimes takes months for individuals to process letting go of the old identity, but it also shows us how programmed we are in this reality. To even watch myself argue and go like, oh my gosh, I don't want to let go of tropical. I sat and I went like, what kind of spell is this? That I can just go like, sure, let me check it out. What is this? Let me dive into this.
Yes. So, and I have another question. One of your teachings focuses on energetic sovereignty. What does that term mean, and why is it becoming so important right now?
Oh, that's a great question. Whoever asked that, that's awesome. Energetic sovereignty really is being completely present within our own energy field. Not only is it responsibility to what frequencies we're emanating out, but it's also that discernment for what frequencies we're letting in to our field. Really, that kind of sovereignty is showing us that we are all truly divine cosmic beings. We are not the servant or slave of anyone. We are not responsible for processing the karma or debt of anything or anyone on this planet. Yet, through family lineage lines, we can actually see many times, even through our own family line, we are carrying the karma and debt of our ancestors in our life. And when we hold those kind of miasms in our field, it weighs upon our energetic field. And when we, at the time of death, go to transition out of this reality, if we are carrying the karma, the debt, the energy, the entanglements, the embedments or the implants of anything or anyone in our field, that kind of energy creates a magnetic kind of gravitational pull back into the earth field. This is many times how we keep getting pulled or recycled into reincarnational lifetimes. Sovereignty is super important, one, because this goes along with human design, this goes along with any of the clearing programs that I put out there, is first and foremost, how do we know who we are if we have too much noise in our field? You were told who you were from the moment you were born. You were told what you are. You were told how to learn, how to breathe, what you do, what you can, or what you can't. And most of us don't even know what is our own beliefs or ideas until we start to do this work, because we are just the absorption or the sponges of the environments many times of where we grew up. And so part of the work is literally starting to do the clearing of starting to get rid of everything that is not ours. And also in every belief that comes up, we start to question, is that even my belief? Is that even my thought? Okay, wait, if I didn't have that thought and that thought was presented to me, do I choose that thought now? Yes or no? And most of the times, and in a lot of this, it's no. So even the process of human design, the true path of human design is first of all, getting rid of all the not self, emptying out. So for instance, I'll give you a little share here. But I'm healing a couple of things and utilizing the keto lifestyle at this moment in time. And I was working with Dr. Boz's energy, and this is just perfect because her vibration in there is the step number 2, go in your house, empty out every single thing in your cupboards that doesn't fit in this eating style. Like, first and foremost, don't even try to deal with it while it's in your house. Just go in there and just clear it out. And I was just like, that's such a great analogy, because then it's like, that's what we're doing. We're starting to, first of all, get rid of all the noise in our life. And once we do that, we start to then be able to feel within ourselves, well, where did I actually let certain energies in my reality in because I wasn't feeling self-love or self-worth, or feeling as though I belonged, or feeling as though if I said no, then I wouldn't have any friends, or they wouldn't love me anymore, or that I tolerated this or that because I felt useful. This one's like a big one. There's a lot of people that tolerate parasitic people in their life because they feel useful, they feel wanted, they feel important. And whenever we start to realize that, we start to go like, oh, well, if I want my life to flow energetically, then we have to be the ones first and foremost to start unplugging ourselves from what is known as the victimizer program. The places where it looks like, oh, we are in situations because of, and it's not that we want to say, oh, that we deserved it. We're not here to point fingers and go like, oh, well, all the things that happened to you, it's your karmic fault. You deserved it because you made it happen. It's not like that. It's more of like, we want to start to become aware of where we're carrying energies in our field that we can begin to collapse, dissolve, delete, to return back to sender, that we can actually start to take sovereignty within ourselves. And what sovereignty does, sovereignty gives us confidence. Sovereignty gives us purpose. Sovereignty gives us a sense that says, I don't get my fulfillment from anyone else. I have my own direct connection to source. And when we stop seeking outside of yourself for anything, we stop becoming the seeker and we start becoming co-creators. with this field of creation. And this is so important because as we hold within this field, the more aware we become, the more we start to realize there are a lot of beings. I'm just going to say it that way. Within this planetary field, everywhere from physical reality to astral reality to phantom reality to interdimensional reality, that doesn't want humanity to remember who they are. Because humanity in amnesia is an easy place to just pick energy and resources from. And when you start to remember who you are, then this makes it so that your field becomes inaccessible to these parasitic energies. And then the more that we do that, the more it reveals. And that's where a lot of this disclosure is coming from, is that we are starting to, as a collective, reveal what is not supporting our sovereignty within this reality. And sovereignty, again, having it at this time is about us really having that safe passage at the end of life. I am a huge, like, one of my greatest passions in this life, and it has been since I was little. This is going to sound a little odd, but one of my greatest passions in this life was actually to learn how to die right. And that's something I realize now that it's ingrained in me from many other incarnations, many of our ancient practices, that in many of the ancient practices, we would spend our entire life going through very sacred rituals, initiations, and practices so that we knew how to move in and out with our consciousness, so that at the time of death, it was seamless. It was something that felt just as natural as walking, so that our consciousness knew exactly which stars and stargates and which passageways we were returning home. Now more than ever, we have to really be vigilant for our consciousness, because consciousness is energy. Energy is consciousness. These parasites want our consciousness. And if they hijack our consciousness, then our consciousness isn't aware enough of where are you going at the end of this life. And I think most of us have this desire to return to our soul families, to return home, to return to a space where we remember again.
That was very well said. And I have to say, a lot of the things that you touched on, Lisa and I have touched on in our master class, especially the programming that we receive when we're in the womb. We already know what religion we are, all these different variables that we know. And then everything being programmed into us. And on top of that, we have ancestral DNA and ancestral traits. And we have all of this bombarding us. And basically, it's from those beings that you're talking about who want to keep us in that state so that we can't remember who we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very well said, because those are the kinds of things that we've been talking about in the master class. And as far as what you said, doing things, sacrificing yourself for love, to be loved, to be needed, and that's sacrificing your sovereignty as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Absolutely. And then I just want to thank you, Becca, for sharing your passion. We can say it here, right? Because we're not censored when we speak about death, right? Yeah. We are not taught how to die. So thank you for that. And if we can just also add in here in regards to Becca's channel, right? Scan it, go to her website. She has a safe Bardo passage. And if I'm not mistaken, that's an offering to the collective as well, correct? Mm-hmm. So please do check that out. At the very least, that is a wonderful tool to have in your belt, because it assists our loved ones when our loved ones are crossing over. And if you know, and if I'm not mistaken, there's also death doulas. Not only are there, right, there's birthing doulas and there's death doulas. So this is a tool to assist if you would like to hold space for somebody when they're passing. So thank you for mentioning that, Becca, because that is an extremely, like you said, we are not taught how to die.
Yeah.
So we're not taught how to live either. We're not taught how to be human.
Exactly. We're not even taught. We are not taught how to think. We are taught what to think.
Yes.
So, but what I wanted to say was Becca's site is so much more than this. What you have retreats. Tell us some of the other things you have on your website that are.
Yeah, absolutely. So even on the homepage, there is some free offerings as far as I'm trying to remember. I know there's a free audio for connecting to your higher self. I believe there's the other one for it might be dealing with entities and handlers. I did a free kind of like little mini workshop on that, and with a clearing on that was, just something to give and to share with everyone for helping to deal with sometimes the many things that feel like are bound within us. And I think those are just right on the front page. There's also on there something that I think is pretty cool. I've been playing with it, and it's a free way if you want to get your own human design. Your human design chart. I even have that when you download it, it comes with a little mini printout that you can download for free. And another one that's download your free tropical chart on there as well. And that one has a little bit of information in there as well. And it's an interactive graph on there. So if you actually hover over each of the centers, it'll tell you a little bit about every one of them. So you can go in there for free and start to look at some of that information on there and work with that. But, these types of things, I think they are tools. They're wonderful. Some of the things that I've been doing over the past 20 years is really a lot of the one-on-ones, a lot of like clearing the limitations, helping us to really embody our authenticity, our sovereignty, our courage, our strength, and really to be able to step into living this life and to be the purpose that we've come to be. And I feel like the way that things are moving and the way that I'm being nudged to share things now is to start to create more experiential event. So, we're starting to do even this course that I'm doing right now with the virtues. The Christ Virtues is a hybrid. So those in the area are able to come live and in person as well as join in on Zoom. And I'm going to continue to make that as an offering as time goes by in order to give people the opportunity to come and experience workshops live, to interact with each other. And these are going to develop into residencies. Something that I feel very passionate about is finding ways for us to begin to spend more time with each other. And the first residency that we are creating, and I do believe it'll be towards the end of this year, I don't have the date locked in yet, is going to be a dark room retreat. Having the opportunity to come, to be within a safe environment, to process things and to go into a dark room experience to where you can spend 3 to 7 days within pure darkness in order to activate not only your pineal gland, to begin to have a natural process of healing and awakening within. And so that's something I'm really excited about. But for sure, the one that is still on the table, and there are a few tickets left for this, is the Hawaii retreat coming up in October. And this one, I'm very, very, very excited for it. This is something that I feel us all being called to come together for something very important and very special for Mother Earth. So if, anyone is interested, I definitely encourage people to check that out, because this one's going to be very, very special, especially with the timing of what is going on planet Earth right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I have another question, because there are so many aspects to your work. It's fascinating, all the different aspects you have. But dream work is another fascinating aspect of your work. Do you believe our dreams are simply processing daily experiences, or can they become a form of guidance and communication?
They're both. And for most individuals, it's going to be a mix. It's going to be more predominantly processing many things. But dreams in themselves, some people will have this a little bit more naturally. Others will have to work and develop it. It is a skill. It's a skill we can all work on. But dreams are amazing because they actually create almost kind of like a bypass loop within the program. So even though dreams in themselves are actually heavily programmed states to really many times inundate our subconscious with information, so that when we wake up in the morning, we're already processing something that kind of bleeds over into our day.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because especially if for those that do dream work, I love dream work because it's so diverse. It is one of the primary places that we get targeted. It's one of the primary places that there can be astral attack, intrusions in our dream state,
Yes.
tagged or implanted with things, or even harassed within our dream state. Many times happens through that field because the interdimensional beings can easily enter into that state, and we are in a bit more of a helpless state because most of us as dreamers just go along with the dream. We dream and then you're like, well, we go along with it. But when we learn to wake up in the dream practices in themselves kind of help us to learn how to wake up to this quote unquote physical reality that we're in. And when we start to learn that, and this is where we can start to learn how to speak out commands, how we can begin to speak into the dream field to literally move through doorways within the dream state into other realms, other realities. It is a powerful way to even learn how to go into out of body experiences, to begin to actually move to other planetary systems, to other places, or to connect with your guides, or to process or learn things. It's infinite what you can do within the dream state. So I love when people have the ability or even the curiosity work within it, because to me, it's a back loop. It's a back door out of the system. And that if you can get past, part of my language, the BS that kind of comes up in the field that tries to keep us just kind of lulled into the movie of the dream. If you can get past that, once you get past that, you can actually have pretty much a door to the infinite.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great question, Raven.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
if I may I just want to add in regards to the offerings that Becca has. I am part of Becca's flame holder group. And in the flame holder group, there are 4 focal points that we work with. And one of them is dream time. So if those of you who are intrigued and you're not part of her group, please check it out. There's it's so much. There's so much that you offer to us flame holders. Different courses are available to us as a part of her membership. So it's just it's so beautiful because, like yesterday, for instance, Becca, since I'm not part of the architects, I was like, you know what? I would normally be in class right now. So let me go on the website and go into one of these courses and dive into some material. And we have 4 tiers, and one of them is the elements. Am I saying this correctly? Okay. And so the elements, so I'm revisiting the elementals again, because it's just, we are the elements. We are made up of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. So I had to add that in there. So if anybody is intrigued, to me, it's a wonderful experience to be a part of this group, and the support that you give to us. And of course, us as flame holders, supportive with each other, because we have a Telegram, we can chit chat with each other, talk about dream time. Me personally, I'm not a dreamer yet. But it's just, it's a beautiful way for like-minded souls to have a safe space. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice. You know, I've been wanting to go up there and do that. I may just. My thing is that I don't always have those Sundays available to be there. And so if I don't have those Sundays available to physically be there, are there replays that I could watch?
Yeah, there's yeah, and anybody joining in, you would get access to all all the replays and all the past library. And so within that, you know, absolutely every Thursday and every Sunday, you know, is where we have the times to get together, and it's really a neat time for us to see each other. And but they are recorded, they're always recorded, and I do my best to get them posted as quick as possible. And then we do new moon ceremonies, full moon ceremonies, and you know, whatever else the guides are nudging us to come together with.
One of our comments, Becca offers so much and with so much love. It's supportive, safe, and filled with love. And that's from Beth. Thank you for joining us, Beth.
Love you.
Yes.
Beautiful.
To me, it's we are family. We truly are. You know, I feel so close and connected to everyone. And, you know, I feel like the container even holds, you know, there are individuals that come in and they're able to be a part of it for a bit. And sometimes they step out and then they step back in. And I feel like no matter what, we connect, we find each other. And it's just so amazing that we have it. And I'm excited for more opportunities for us to really start coming together in person now too.
Yeah, that sounds interesting as well. So, and you talk about you actually do attract a lot of light workers, but if someone listening feels completely disconnected from their purpose, what is one simple step they can begin taking today?
That's an amazing amazing question. You know, if someone feels completely disconnected from their purpose, the first step would be to have the intention to be curious about what it is, to be open and almost speaking it out to one's higher self that says, I'm willing to now surrender to that path of what will open up for me as I become curious of, why am I here? What is my greatest purpose? What is the greatest gift that I can be, not just to humanity, but to your universal family? And within that, that usually opens up even just where you start to feel what, at least I see this so many times for so many of us. It's like when we start to open up, all of a sudden it's like little opportunities and little things start to come into our reality. And it's really, I would also say the next thing would be to have patience, to not, you know, I think one of the biggest banes that we've all had is like, well, wait, there's more to know. I need to know it all right now. I must be awakened now. And to enjoy the mystery of each unraveling, each unfolding, each new thing that is brought in. And that from within that, it really starts to open up to where we begin to have that next kind of little nudge, which is to start to create those little moments where we have the opportunity to hear those nudges. Silence is so important, but one of the things that I would say for someone that doesn't have any particular practices or gnosis on anything is to find one of those amazing breathwork channels on YouTube. There's a couple really great ones. Breathwork with Sandy's a really good one. Breathing with Kalela, I think, or something like that is another one. Breathwork Beats is another one. Any of those, they have all of these breathworks that you could do. Make the dedication or the challenge that every day, at least once a day, you're going to play one of those and do breathwork and allow that to just start to be the opening gate. Really, everything that we're doing is finding different hacks, if you will. Breathwork is, if someone says they're not a dreamer, I say switch to breathwork. Do breathwork. breath work will create the exact same doorways in the consciousness, and it is one of the most amazing ways that we can start to have those little openings that get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, where we start to feel those nudges in that wisdom. And I promise, even just having that desire to awaken to our greater purpose, I promise your universal family and your guides will absolutely respond with the opportunities that will lead you on that path.
Beautiful. And Lisa always talks about breath work, especially in the master classes again. And you have how many YouTube channels?
Well, I technically I have 2 public YouTube channels right now. So it's the Soul Based Life channel. That's the one I've had for the longest amount of time. I think I've got like 400 videos on there or something. So if you're curious and you want, there's so many free deep dives, conversations, clearings. It's where I stay in contact with everyone. Putting little live posts from time to time about current energy and weekly spiral reports. I like to do reports for the energy of the upcoming week. So I offer those all for free on there. And then I definitely want to encourage everybody to check it out. I've created recently a brand new music channel called Elisa Flame. It is my dedication and my love to Mother Divine. Every single song I write, they are words from my heart. They are activation codes. Many of them are for clearing. They're for activating energies within. They're just for taking in the information and materials in a whole other way. And within that, they're just my devotion of love, my gift to everyone. And the more people that subscribe and check out the channel, the more it makes me smile. So I'm just happy that the songs are something that brings a smile to others. So it's available there.
Yeah, you and Lisa were talking about the song, so I'm super curious about that. I know Lisa sent me a link about one of the songs, but I am super curious about that. I have to go check that out. As we continue through this period of collective change, what are the themes that you are seeing emerge for humanity over the next few years?
So one of the key things that I keep being shown, so one of the families that I work with a lot is some of our aquatic families, and seeing into a lot of what is emerging in kind of like activation within the ocean cities. There is a massive escalation of energy that is happening within the radion bands of the earth as the solar atom bodies, or the we'll just say solar energies emerging into our planetary and our solar system. It's quickening energy. They're bringing light packets, and these light packets are filled with information, and they're quickening the consciousness of many of those that are ready to receive it. But these beings that are coming in are not just about activating, say, the earth or our consciousness, but really there is a massive kind of construction going on through these fields of these crystal cathedrals that are building. And there are certain main ones around the planet, but more and more are popping up all over the place. And these are, think of it as energetic ways in which safe passages are being created for the souls that transition on the planet, for the fragmented souls that have been lost or bound to the planet. So there's a massive kind of like a bridgeway, like a crystal bridgeway that is happening right now for many of the trapped souls that have been here kind of bound to the earth, and many of those that have been transitioning, whether it be naturally or whether it be in natural disasters or anything like that. We have the ability to support them more now, and to moving past these magnetic bands that have been trapping kind of souls into recycling for a long time. As this is happening, this is also shifting and changing the grids of the earth. And as this happens, one of the key things, and we'll kind of see this battle kind of continue back and forth, But one of the main things that is happening is that the organic, I kind of call it the organic computing system of Earth, but there's like an organic consciousness, kind of like crystalline structure of the Earth that has been suppressed and buried by all of these artificial frequencies and technologies over the top of it, all the way back since the Atlantean times. And all of these were specifically designed to trap the consciousness of humanity so that we were plugged into their inorganic system, which means that we were plugged into the beliefs of who we are, what we should be doing, how we should live our life. It disconnected us from our true organic connection to the earth. And most predominantly, it disconnected us from our connection to our universal families. And one of the things that keeps getting shown is that through many of the shifts and changes, this isn't a huge cataclysmic event, but this is really going to be localized events that are going to continue to open up, almost kind of like begin to reveal more and more of the things that have been buried deep, deep, deep within the ocean since the different floods and the different experiences. Think of it as like all these things that have been buried under all these things. These caverns are going to open that are going to begin to reveal some of these ancient civilizations and ancient technologies. And they say when that happens, there's one in particular that they keep talking about, and that when that happens, it's just going to pop us open as a level of consciousness. This is moving us into a next era that is really calling us into more discernment. What they keep showing in the evolution of the next few years is that the way we see and think about Earth today, even within a year from now, is going to feel like a completely different planet. They're really preparing us for how do you break away? Think about the things that used to be important to you when you were maybe a teenager. And now you would go like, man, none of that stuff matters. Now I'm like, that's not even how reality is. It's like your consciousness is cracked open so much that you can't even see the world the same. And right now it's exponentially accelerating. And they're saying that within this, we are going to become aware, and remembrance are going to start popping so much faster that it is going to be impossible for us to even have the desire to be on the same life path that maybe we thought we were on 5 years ago. There are a lot of shifts. They're calling us together back into communities. I do feel this is going to be a time of moving more into more rural communities where many of the people that are choosing to connect to the organic grids again, as those come online, are going to start coming together more. Our time of isolation apart from each other, we're going to find each other primarily online. And we're going to realize, oh, I don't have to match with everyone where I am. We can utilize the internet to find each other as our communities and start to come together, because they really are going to call us, whether it's a group of 10, whether it's a group of 100, it doesn't matter, to maybe sometimes sit in certain places and do activations, or just to be within states of joy and dancing, to share that energy with the earth. And that this is going to be vital and important, because the next few years, especially up into 2028, this is where, I feel it's going to be such a crazy transformation that for those that aren't really processing already, it can create a huge schism within the consciousness field, or a schism even within how we relate to each other. So the more we come into our sovereignty, the more we will be able to, I feel, ride through this energy in such a more cohesive and peaceful way, and just to not get caught up in a lot of the surface dramas, because we got to realize at the core, I'm just going to say this is, again, our entire experience, I feel, on a deeper level, is to learn how to travel correctly. How, we might say it easily as learn how to die right, but where is your consciousness going? Know where you're traveling. And that, once you have that awareness within yourself, it really doesn't matter. You already know the larger playing field within the creation, and you can feel more comfortable being settled in no matter what is happening on the outer scape.
Wow.
So much. And we could just keep going and going.
But the thing is like, Becca, you have so much knowledge. It's amazing how much, and we have only hit on just a tiny drop of it. And
Gratitude.
it is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
amazing.
I'm honored to, pass on whatever I can pass on. And, I have such a love for how we're all really, really coming together at this time. So, the more that we just love and enjoy what we're doing, no matter what, no matter what, I think it's going to be the magic.
Yeah. And everybody, come on, take a picture of this, and we'll go directly to Becca's website. And I'm sure we can get to the YouTube channels from there, correct?
Yes, they're down at the bottom of any of the pages.
Excellent. And one more question before we close out. Becca, for your Soul Speak community, the first Sunday of each month, you do a Q&A live, and that is free to the public?
That one I have for the first tier.
That is a tier. Okay, that's a tier. Okay. But more information, of course, will be on Becca's website. Please check it out.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, and then a lot of the stuff I end up, maybe it won't be in live, but I usually take a lot of the content that is presented through the group platforms. The group platforms is our way to be live with each other, and a lot of times I take a portion of that and just
yes, you do.
put it out on the YouTube channel. So
yes, you do, because it's just so good.
And I'm sure that you would respond to any comments or questions that come up on your YouTube channel as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we ask every guest, what message would you like to leave our audience with today?
I love that. A simple one that's coming through is, you are the light, be the light. And in that, one beautiful way to embrace that energy is to breathe in to your higher heart. As you breathe into your higher heart, it's just a space right above where your heart chakra is. It's the place where your core star spark shines from within you. And the more that we begin to connect into that energy, the more that we can start to be the pillar of light that we came here to be. And the invitation would be that the more of us it begins to shine as our core starlight, as our original heart song that we came here to be, the more that we truly become connected within ourselves to our universal families. I know I'm saying this term, in really what this means is to really this larger collective energy within the cosmic fields of energies and consciousness beings, that they know you and they remember who you are. And the more that we connect to that and remember to ask, to remember to bring ourselves forward to say, I'm choosing to connect with you. What is it that you want me to remember today? The more that we can start to receive that remembrance that we are so loved, we were never abandoned here. We absolutely have a divine connection, and we are only a fragment of ourselves in the totality of all the creation, which means that already the majority of you is already within fields of creation that are already home. So the more that you can link into that energy, the more that you can remember you are so loved, you are so supported, and together we have the opportunity, even in this wild and crazy place we call Earth, to still have so much omni love and fun while we are here.
Beautiful. That's just absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so for everyone watching, we'd love to hear from you. What part of today's conversation resonated with you the most? And you can put those comments on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook Lives, whichever ones you like. And we'd love to hear from you, and we'd like to have that conversation, because this doesn't need to be the end of the conversation. And Becca, we're just going to have you on again. I mean, We've only touched just a spark of your knowledge, and you're amazing.
Love you, Beth.
Beth says, thank you so much. Love to all. Thank you, Beth, for being here. And for all of you who have joined us now or in the future, thank you for your time and your energy and presence to join us in this wonderful conversation. Such an expansion just in 1 hour. It's like, I learned much, much more. So.
Oh, well, thank you guys so much for allowing me to join you this evening. And thank you to everyone watching, and omni love to all.
Yes. And
yeah.
Please get a Starseed reading. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I still have my audio and I listen to it because I still hear things that I didn't hear before.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Beautiful.
So, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.